So let me just warm up. So let me just roll the TNT. We got tangents and trivia. It's TNT, baby. Go ahead.
You right, mate?
I'm cool today.
How's it going?
Just chilling, bro. Just chilling. Just got a load of things to talk about, mate. That's probably why we're here again. In the same spot, in the same time, in the same place.
It's tangents and trivia.
They don't need that. That's already going to be there.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we do need to record a quick thing whilst it's just come to mind.
Yeah.
People need to know what TNT stands for, because it's not just tantalising entertainment. It's not just tangents and trivia. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So we did that.
Yeah.
He just made that up. Incredible. You're cutting edge.
Yeah. I didn't make it up on the spot. I thought of it the other day, but I swear you.
I like it. It's very relevant.
Anyway, you tell him.
He's an ideas guy. Sheesh.
You tell him Tuesdays and Thursdays.
No, I'm not gonna say.
Okay.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Catch your boy. And this boy. Talking in some real sense.
And
Tuesdays.
some real shite.
Some real shite.
It's TNT, baby.
Tantalizing. No, okay, all right.
Okay.
Let's jump in.
Onto it.
I'm just buzzing to talk about 100 million things that I
Okay.
want to talk about.
Come on then.
So we're gonna do it in a really cool way. There's 10 subjects. Pick any number.
Feels like back in secondary school.
Pick any number you want. Yeah, but pick a number.
A number between
1
1
to 10.
5.
Ooh, decision making.
What? Choosing 5?
5 is the topic of making decisions.
Oh right, okay. I thought you were just congratulating me for my good decision.
No, but that's really weird.
Okay.
That's very relevant.
Yeah.
And I guess one reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I've had multiple conversations recently about decisions, and it's really weird. I think the amount of times I've analysed and watched people find it really hard to just make a decision. I don't know if you've seen that famous quote. It's been on like a couple TikToks and Vines where it's not, like, by the way, we're not sexist when I like say this or anything like that, but there's like a TikTok about when you're asking a lady what she wants from like a restaurant or what she wants to eat, and then it's taken from a film called The Notebook or something, where it's like it's like, what do you want? And she's like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple.
No, I haven't seen this meme, but yeah, I get it.
But it then made me realise, like, I think a lot of people are scared to make decisions because they're scared they make the wrong ones.
Rewind. So first point you made there about the ladies is, yeah, my experience in relationships, and haven't been in a relationship with a guy yet. So what I'm saying is, some people like an assertive partner in their relationships sometimes. Maybe. I think that's why that is. But I've experienced that firsthand, that especially with, it's always the thing to do with what you're getting for dinner. Yeah. Like what restaurant you want to go to.
But you'll choose something and they'll be like, oh, I don't like that. And I'm like, this is why you should have.
Yeah, because it's not enough money. They want caviar.
But I now work backwards. So I say to women, I'm like, what don't you want to eat? You know, because once you start to eradicate what they don't want, you're like, okay, so when you make a choice, when you finally make that decision, it can't be wrong because they've cut out everything they don't want to eat.
Everyone's fussy though, aren't they? So
if fussy, you get hungry, man. Fussy mouths don't get fed. That's what I'm saying. I figured out the system. Like I figured out money.
Beggars can't be choosers.
That's right. I'm back here. So yeah, I just find it's really, I don't know why it's so hard to make decisions, and that's not on women at all. That's obviously just a small societal example and something that people have turned into a trending joke or whatever. But just in general, like, have you ever come across certain situations where, like, I guess the people that you've been surrounded by, even yourself, have felt there's a decision that has to be made, but you or that person hasn't made it? Like, you've avoided making a decision for whatever reason.
Have I ever got an example of that in my life?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
You don't have to like say the example, but have you like? Do you understand the point that I'm trying to get across?
Not being able to make a decision because of somebody else.
Could be that. It just could be because you don't want to be wrong in that perspective. And like, I guess what I want to try and get from this.
Oh, not making a decision just in case it's the wrong one.
Yeah. It's like, from this episode, I kind of just want to empower people to make decisions, because you not making a decision is still a decision that you've made. And if you have the opportunity to influence something, like if you have the opportunity to, because we can't control anything, but we can either choose to influence something or let it just be. And sometimes when you let things just be, they never turn out the way that you want them to be.
There's a lot of people grow up with, well, if you grow up with like a father figure or a mother figure in your life that's quite strong or something, then you might rely on them for help with making important decisions because you feel like they've got that experience.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people like that I've spoken to say you kind of grow up and sometimes you kind of see a different side of it where you kind of go, you realise, oh shit, my parents are probably just almost winging it, because it's how you can't have experience in every single thing, every single possibility that could happen when you're bringing up a child, can you? So
for sure.
It is funny, like, and I think that it comes down to that thing with if you kind of get mothered or babied too much, are you going to be a kind of person that can make your own decisions, or are you always going to be relying on someone else to tell you the right answer?
100%. And that's when I think too much help actually is counteractive.
They say people, don't they, like teach people how to learn stuff rather than just trying to teach them some not like information. Teach them how to thirst for knowledge. What is the quote that I'm trying to think of? You heard what I'm saying, don't you?
I understand what you're trying to say.
They're basically saying, you like, rather than trying to teach kids just like boring, just tell them the facts. It's actually teach them how to actually go and do it. Like the thirst for not like inspire them to actually go and do it themselves and stuff.
Like teaching them how to, I guess, find the knowledge that they're interested in, but also how to apply it. Because like, as we know of the school education system and stuff like that, it's effectively based on one person's perspective, and it's been refined again and again, and kind of like I guess it would be, and I'm using this very loosely as a very loose example for all the religious heads out there, it's no disrespect intended, but kind of like the Bible has its very original copy, and obviously people have added excerpts, taken excerpts, and kind of fashioned it in different ways that work for them. And I feel like the education system is like that. Like it started off as like this one thick concept, and as we've gone through like centuries and we've gone through, different societal changes, the education system has evolved, but the principles are still the same. Kids are given a certain amount of academic subjects, and they're ranked on that. Really, your ability to remember and then just regurgitate, rather than actually go in, more so when we go past uni, when you actually go into real life, like with music for you, with coaching for myself, it's that thirst of knowledge. You have to tap into, how do I find the knowledge that I need? How do I know the source of the knowledge that I'm getting is worthwhile, so that they're not just BSing? And then how do I then apply that? Because how you apply what you've learned, I remember when we've had like chats about music before, you've gone there, you learn all the rules, but then, some of the most cutting edge music is actually breaking the rules. So they've learnt that knowledge, and then they've applied it by undoing it, which I think is cool. Exactly, that's crazy. And that's, when I look at what I do from my coaching perspective, I'll learn why someone does a movement, and I'll unpick it as to, what is that actually doing? So someone has like loads of knee trouble, I'll send them over to my physio friend. He'll give them an exercise, and I'll unpack why that exercise was given to them. So I reverse engineer it.
Do you remember when it was that you kind of realised that was the way to think about things?
I don't. I think I had a brush with it in history. Probably when I was in like year 11 or so, when I realised that history for me, because I used to hate history, man. Like me and
who did you have as a teacher?
I won't say her name properly, but Mrs. D.
Oh god, I'm never gonna remember.
Yeah, he doesn't remember. But at the time, we were like sworn enemies.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. She got my mum at the bloody parents' evening. And I was like, yeah, mum's gonna give her like a proper like good telling off. I was behind my mum like it's like just waiting for the outcome. And the next thing I know, my mum just turns around, and looks at me, and I'm like, oh, like I'm in trouble. I don't know what she said, but she spun this game so nicely.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, what she said was on point, and I was like, yeah, okay, I've been a bit of a dick here. And I don't know, from there we just we kind of just got on a bit more. I applied myself a bit more, and I was like, I actually really, really enjoy history. And there was a point in year 11 where I was trying to unpack the mark scheme to figure out like what I needed to do to get more marks. And she was talking about like, and it's always stuck with me, critical analysis. And at the time as a kid, I was like, what the hell is that? Like, what's critical analysis? And really, she's just like, you need to have your own voice and you need to have your own opinion on things. You need to question like, okay, so Sam said this, but who's Sam? Oh, well, Sam hates Naeem, so Sam's probably more likely to say this.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And Sam, do you know what I mean? Sam's like completely opposite to Naeem, so he can't really resonate with his
Don't
experience.
just take it just because you've read it somewhere or someone said it. Yeah.
She said question everything, and once she said that to me in year 11, I think that stuck. That, you know, one thing that we really lack in general outside of decision making, and it's probably why people struggle with decision making, is critical analysis. You know, we often just get given information. That's fine. Look at this whole thing with COVID. I'm not going to get too controversial, but all I'm trying to say is, you know, people were given information. It was like straight away, boom, that's it. That's the only narrative. And I almost felt to a degree, if you had a different opinion to what the vast majority had, you were crazy.
Yeah.
And it could have just been like, for me, I was never comfortable with, you know, certain aspects of the whole COVID thing. So I always tried to like keep far away from discussions about it. I didn't get the jabs like instantly. I wasn't rushing like, oh my gosh, like just jab me up here. But yeah, exactly.
Come on, son, get at me, son.
But I never thought anyone was an idiot for it. Like if you were that scared about
I'm starving, mate. Get it in me.
Like I never, do you know what I mean? Like I never thought the people who got it straight away, I was like, oh my gosh, you're idiots. Like this is a conspiracy. Like they've got this in here and they're tracking. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like if it made you feel comfortable, if it made you feel confident going out, by all means do it. For me, I just, with the information that I was presented and how everyone was acting around me, very irrational. I had tonsillitis. Yeah. My mum was like to me, oh, you've got tonsillitis, you should probably go and get the COVID jab. I was like, what?
I'm dealing with this.
Do you know what I mean? And I was like, is that what the information that's been given to you has, do you know, is that what the information that's given to you, has that led you to that, you know, that school of thinking where it's just like, yeah, this is a miraculous jab that can solve everything? Because for me, that scared me. I was like, because people sound so irrational right now. Yeah. That's like, you know, God forbid that ever happens, but someone having something like cancer, you're like, oh, you know what you should have done? Probably had the COVID jab. Yeah. Like, they're two unrelated things, man. It's crazy. I was just like, I don't feel comfortable. Yeah. And once I didn't feel uncomfortable in myself, my critical analysis of questioning everything was, don't listen to what everyone else is telling you to do. Yeah. Listen to what you feel like doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. Yeah. If I had to stay away from people, if I, you know, had to respect certain boundaries, some people didn't want like people around who hadn't been vaccinated or whatever, fine, cool. But if you know how a vaccine works, it's a little bit different. You still get it. You can still pass it on. Yeah. You don't become invulnerable.
I was sick of people telling me what I can and couldn't do before I got it, and it's just annoying. I think it's a bit freer now, isn't it? But yeah, people are just sheep. I think that's what it kind of comes down to. Can you remember, like around that same time, everyone was like, in the UK, they were saying there's like all army vehicles heading down towards London to lock off London, and like everyone was getting well scared, and everyone believed it. Do you know what I mean?
It's just a fake post that was been passed around, and you know, this is what I guess we're trying to say is, when you are delivered this information with anything, question it. Question, because it's the smart thing to do. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's actually quite silly
common
to just
sense,
accept. Mate. Yeah, it's quite silly just to accept something just for what it is.
So what's quite funny, I don't know if I've spoken about this before. There was a girl, well, there was people that we went to school with, but this one story in particular, as an example, this girl, you remember you used to mark each other's Spanish tests, yeah?
Don't even get me started on Spanish, bro. Cause
so you'd have 10 words and you have to spell the words and stuff, and then you pass it to the person you sat next to, and you'd mark it. And this girl, because she was kind of friends with the, I don't know what to say, like not the clever ones again, like they're not like they were stupid, they were kind of like the popular girls, you know what I mean, like, oh yeah,
the glamour girls.
Yeah, the glamour girls, the ones that weren't focused. She didn't want to appear clever. She didn't want to actually get. She got like 7 out of 10, and I saw her. I was like, oh, why don't you got 7 out of 10? And she scribbled out it, and she was like, no. And then they asked everybody what score she got, and she was like 5, because that was what everybody else was saying, and she didn't want to look like a nerd, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes
sad,
people have grown up. Yeah, it is sad. I feel like quite a lot of people grow up with this thing where they're so not used to having to kind of have common sense and accountable freedom and stuff like that, and they just want to blend in so much.
Yeah.
And just kind of do what everybody else is doing and stuff like that. So you don't need to. You just do what everybody else is doing, don't you? You don't need to make a decision. You just get stuck in that life of.
There's freedom, mate. There's freedom to be indifferent, and I think, you know, you should like experience that, because the more you try to blend in, the more of yourself you lose. The more of yourself you lose. I really do believe that. And it's not about trying to stick out and stand out from everyone else. It's about being true and honest to yourself. If you're clever, embrace it. It's a great thing. You know, it's like, why would you hide from that? So yeah, that's sad to hear. Sad story,
innit? But what I was going to say is, as an add-on, is I saw loads of people that were like that at school, where they were cleverer than they that they like to make out they were, in a way. Because I think it's maybe it's different now, or different way in different places that you live, or where your social group is. Like, I get at this age now, it might be the kind of people that kind of like live in the pub.
Yeah.
Not all people, obviously. I'm just saying, but like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Where these kind of people, where it's just like they don't want to be that nerd. Everyone's a bit just like, yeah, come on, son, come on, football. Or whatever they're doing. No offense to football fans either.
We love
God, everything's been recorded. I need to watch what I say. It's gonna be cancelled already. Need to be cancelled 9 times.
Yeah,
I've only done 5 episodes so far.
We've got 9 lives. 9 lives.
So yeah, I just think it's like some people kind of grow up with this. It's so ingrained in them to not be like a decision maker.
To blend in, yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, what was the reason why you asked me this question?
Just because I had a conversation with a few people, and I guess, you know, from my own experiences as well, through what I've been through, like, I've had to make big decisions that big adults should have been making. And I felt like, you know, being the youngest, having to make decisions that I was like, whoa, like, obviously I've changed as a person. You know, I think I've became something bigger just from making decisions. And I think my point is, with people, is don't be afraid to make them. You know, be appreciative that you can be wrong, but when you make a wrong decision, you can also make a right decision. Do you know what I mean? And every decision we make isn't final. Do you know what I mean? There's always something else that we can do. And I just found it really bizarre how, like, people double my age were, like, kind of afraid to make decisions.
Yeah.
And the situation it puts you in when you don't influence your life, when you don't, you know, steer. It's effectively like driving a car, but not driving it. You're in the passenger seat and the steering wheel and everything's just doing its own thing. You're like, oh, well, wow, we've ended up here.
Yeah.
You know, every time you make a decision, you really just, like, alter that steering wheel. Well, we're going over there, actually.
Yeah.
But I just think it's
drive to your own destination.
That's it. The car will always keep going, by the way, because that's life. Like, you can't. Yeah, no, I'm trying not to. Like, it's just from gesturing.
Yeah.
The car will always. I'm gonna have to, like, gesture.
Just sit still.
Like, sensually.
Can you do ventriloquism?
No. Don't even know how to start. The car will always keep going. Like, life is dynamic. Life will always keep moving. Stop.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's not even doing it.
Oh, bless. I think I took it off you. Oh,
yeah.
No.
Oh.
It's when you're still. That's what it does.
Mate, that's killing me.
Readjust it or pop heighten it. Stand up and pull it. tangents.
Yeah. I'm so much taller than you now. Look at me. I'm little. Yes. Okay. Can't remember what. Oh yeah. Sorry. So life will always continue to move. Always, always, always. And that's what I mean about the metaphorical car. It is always going somewhere. And I think when you make decisions, you give yourself the opportunity to slightly change the course of where it's going. That's what I think personally about decision making, and that's why it's important.
And as you say, you just need to break things down. If you're struggling to make a decision, it's going to be really hard because every decision is going to be different. But you just have to analyze what are the facts,
pros and cons. What's right? What's wrong?
Yeah. If someone's trying to give you an idea of what their decision would be and say, yeah, you should do this, why are they telling me to do that?
And your gut, like, you know, pay attention to your instincts, pay attention to your gut. Like, if something doesn't feel right, probably best to listen to that. You know, probably best to listen to that. But I don't know if you've got anything else to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, don't regret. You can't regret, like, if you had an idea to do something. Like, I hate the fact that I'm probably just going to talk about music all the time, and some people can't really relate to it. But
boo! No, I'm only kidding.
I'm just saying.
I'm kidding.
When it comes down to decision making a song, for example.
Yeah.
And I might go, I could add something else to this.
Yeah.
And then I might not make this. I might kind of go, I'm not going to do that because I think I should leave it or something. And then I could sit there and listen to the same thing over and over again and not just do it, but just being a bit more decisive with it and going, right, let me get that idea out of my head now, and I lay it down. It sounds shit. I can always mute it, can't I?
Yeah.
But if I didn't just kind of like just do it because I hesitate, do you know what I'm saying? I'm not making. I know it's but because I'm not making that decision to actually, I'm making the decision to not do it. I'm hesitating on that thing. Don't do it, and then it's just not. I'm never gonna get that out of my head.
Yeah. Inaction is still an action. I think that's what people need to remember. Inaction is still an action.
And I could make a shit song and make the decision to put it out, or make the decision to not put it out. There's another decision, but it's just one of those things. Just if you don't do it, then you're never gonna know.
That's it. And you know, you rather get to the end of what we'd call our lives, and not regret. And not regret the things that you didn't do, and that will be decisions as well. Oh, I should have gone and done that. Why didn't you?
Do what you want to do. If you want to go to McDonald's, if you want to go to Pizza Express, then say you want to go there. You can live the life you want to live. You don't have to be unhappy all the time. Just tell your partners what you want to eat. And life goes on.
We got tangents and trivia. We got tangents. Naeem and Sammy be on TNT.